Hi friends, welcome to day 2 of the Embodiment Series. Thank you so much for coming back to your mats and practicing with me today. I'm really excited to move with you, breathe with you, connect with you. So just a couple things before we get started for day 2 of this series. Please always use me as a guide. Follow your breath, follow your body, your voice, whatever's right for you in each moment. Being on the mat is the practice of getting to know that voice, getting to know our inner self. So please feel free to follow those curiosities as they arise and only use me as a guide. Secondly, I always recommend practicing yoga to music. So if there is a playlist or an album or just some songs you love to move to that you really feel a connection to, feel free to put that on as we start our practice today. So today we are going to start our practice in Sukhasana, easy seat pose. So maybe for you that means coming into a cross-legged position, possibly grabbing a blanket or pillow or a block to put up underneath the hips. Or maybe that means sitting on the heels with the shins on the ground. Just a very easy, comfortable grounding pose here. And once you feel comfortable in that shape, start to close the eyes or find a soft gaze. And placing the hands wherever the heart is leading for you to place them today. Wherever they just intuitively fall. Without thinking too much about it, just let it be. Just taking some big deep breaths here. With some open mouth exhales to land in this spot on your mat today. Consciously dropping anything that is not present right now. Releasing that from the body to create space for this present moment. So in this present moment, you can start to feel the shoulders softening as they drop down out of your ears. You can start to experience the shape that your body takes on its own as you inhale and exhale. You can notice the sit bones grounded to the earth beneath you. That sense of connection, of groundedness to the earth. And feeling the lengthening of the spine every time you inhale. And the way that the body draws inward as you exhale. And beginning to breathe with the mouth closed, so in and out through the nose if that's available to you today. Starting to turn the attention even more inward. And maybe even beginning to draw that focus up into the third eye center, the spot in between the eyebrows. And just witnessing Whatever plays out as you continue to focus on the breath. Continue to focus on that third eye center. And continue to pull yourself deeper and deeper into this present moment. Maybe as you're holding this third eye gaze, you start to notice shapes, colors, textures. And just allow that to be. Focusing on these ever-changing visuals. Staying present with those. Noticing if the mind decides to drift off, knowing that this is normal and okay. And just knowing you always have the breath to come back to bring you back inward to this present moment. And we know that this is the practice. The noticing when we've drifted off and the coming back to the present. And the heartbeat of our practice lies here. Taking 3 more breaths here to really dig deeper into this self-awareness of the present moment. And as you take your next inhale, slowly leading with the heart, start to walk your hands out in front of your legs. Coming into a forward fold here, walking the hands out as far as you can, leading with the heart, so without collapsing. And just pushing the earth away from you, creating some space in the back as the sit bones stay rooted into the ground. Taking some deep breaths here, continuing to stay present with that third eye gaze. Slowly start to walk the hands back towards the feet. And switch the crossing of the legs. So creating balance between both sides of the body. Finding length in the spine here before walking the hands back out once again. Creating space across the back body and in the outer hips. Slowly start to walk the hands back. And bring that left hand to the outside of the right knee as you place the right hand at the tailbone as you twist towards the right, coming into a seated spinal twist here. So lengthening the spine as you inhale and gently turning into that space as you exhale. So having the back hand there really just for support, not putting too much weight back there. On your next breath in, start to lift that right arm up, creating a right side body stretch. Exhale here. Inhale, come back to center. Place the right hand on the outside of the left knee as that left hand comes behind you at the base of your tailbone, twisting to the left side. Feeling how easily the breath seems to flow with the body in this shape of alignment. On your next breath in, lift that left arm up towards the sky, lean towards the right, creating space in the left side body. Exhale here. Inhale, come back to center. Place the hands behind you as you bring your feet to the mat. Begin to turn the toes outward at about 45 degrees, pushing up off of your sit bone, coming into Malasana, yogi squat. So once again, keeping that length in the spine, dropping the tailbone towards the earth, lifting up through the crown of the head, and placing the hands wherever feels comfortable today, heart center, on the floor. And maybe you find some gentle rocking back and forth here. On your next exhale, place that right hand on the ground next to the right foot and start to open up towards the left, lifting that left arm up, opening the space across the chest. As you exhale, start to bring that left hand down by the left foot, opening up the right arm up towards the sky, twisting to the right. Heart opening posture in Malasana. Exhale, bring that right hand down by the right foot, open up one more time towards the left, reaching up, shooting energy out those left fingertips. As you exhale, bring that left hand down by the left foot, opening the right arm up towards the sky. Breathe. Inhale, bring that right hand back down. Slowly start to lift the hips up towards the sky as you heel toe the feet out, coming into a wide-legged forward fold here. So really letting the upper body relax here in this wide-legged forward fold. Letting gravity decompress the spine. And exploring this shape for you on your mat today. Finding what feels good here, maybe some rocking back and forth. Grabbing opposite elbows. Maybe grabbing and interlacing the hands at the low back and pushing the knuckles up towards the sky. Staying curious here, maybe trying something new that you don't normally do in this shape. It's here on our mats that we get to know our bodies. We get to know this inner voice that lives within us, and we have freedom to explore that voice, which then translates to our lives off of our mats as we make choices, make decisions, and live our lives. So taking advantage of these moments of play, of exploration. Really making this your practice. On your next breath in, bring your hands to your waist, keeping the spine long, tucking the belly in, bending the knees, start to lift up to a standing position, strong legs. And as you exhale, come to the front of your mat. Pausing in mountain pose, bringing the hands down by your side. So in this day 2 of our embodiment series, if you did day 1 with us, we have chosen our word of embodiment. Our word that we want to give human form to. That we have consciously chosen to focus on. Bring that word into your heart center. Place your hands over your heart. Feeling into this word, imprinting it on your heart. Feeling the connection to it. Knowing you have the power to fully embody this word. To bring it into your life off of this mat. And to embrace this part of yourself. On your next breath in, lift your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale up to a halfway lift. Exhale, hands back down to the mat. Inhale, rooting to rise, lift the arms up overhead, creating space in the side body. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's do that flow a couple more times. Inhale, lift the arms up, shooting energy out the fingertips. Exhale, gently fold over the legs. Inhale up, halfway lift. Exhale, hands back down to the mat. Inhale, rooting to rise up through the feet, lifting up. Exhale, hands back down to heart center. Inhale, arms raise up overhead. Exhale, body falls down to the earth. Inhale up, flat back. Exhale, hands back down to the mat. Inhale, pulling energy up from the earth, lift up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, folding over the legs. Inhale up to a flat back. Exhale, hands back down to the mat, stepping back into plank. Placing the knees down. And lowering all the way down to the belly with control. So with the belly down on the mat, begin to bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. And start to create the action of pulling the elbows back towards your hips as you lift your heart center forward for Sphinx pose. Taking a couple breaths here, pushing down through the palms. Creating space in that low back by engaging the lower belly. Taking a big breath here. Exhale, left ear down to the mat. This time, bring your hands down along your sides. Palms facing each other. As you inhale, lift the chest, the legs, and the arms. For this variation of locust pose. So really shooting energy out through the toes, through the fingers, feeling the strength of the back body here. One more breath. Exhale, right ear down to the mat. This time, bring the hands at the small of the low back, interlacing the fingers. And as you inhale, press the fingers back, lifting the chest, lifting the legs, locust pose, Salabhasana. Noticing here the breaths might not be as deep, but staying with the breath here. One more inhale. And as you exhale, left ear down to the mat. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Taking an inhale here, coming up into baby cobra pose, so lifting that heart up, keeping hands and feet on the ground. And as you exhale, come into tabletop position, straighten the legs and the hips back for downward facing dog. Taking some movements in downward facing dog here. Maybe moving the hips from side to side, walking the feet. Pushing that ground away from you as the lower ribs draw in. Letting the head hang. And coming back to your word of embodiment. What might that look like here? Bring the feet together and start to come on the outside of that left foot as the right foot stacks on top of it for a side plank, lifting the right arm up towards the sky. If this is too much for you, you can always bring that bottom knee down for more support. Coming into the side plank, start to roll out the shoulder. So making some circles with the shoulder here. Awakening. Getting full range of motion in the shoulder girdle. Come back into plank. Send the hips back for downward facing dog. Bring the feet together. Start to come onto the outside of that right foot, on the knife edge of that right foot, stacking the left foot on top, reaching the left arm up towards the sky, and taking some circles with that left arm. Awakening the left shoulder. Bring the hand back down to the mat. Come back into plank and send the hips back for downward facing dog. Slowly start to walk the feet up into the hands. Once you arrive there, stay here for one full round of breath in your forward fold. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Exhale, hands back down to the mat. Inhale, rooting to rise, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Placing the thumbs on top of the heart in Anjali Mudra, palms together, feeling the heartbeat. Coming back to your breath, to this moment. Remembering we always have this tool of our breath to bring us back when we've become aware that we are no longer present. Inhale, sink the hips back, shoot the arms up for chair pose. Putting the weight in the heels, sinking the hips back. Looking down, seeing all 10 of your toes, pulling the lower belly in. Bring the hands to heart center, staying in your chair pose. Starting to twist to the right and bringing that right elbow on the outside of the right knee. Looking down at your feet, at your knees, to make sure that left knee didn't start to jut out. If so, just gently guide it back. Staying in this chair twist for just a couple more breaths, finding strength and balance here. On your next breath in, start to lift that left leg up, staying in this one-legged chair balance, slowly pushing that left leg back, coming into a high crescent lunge twist. On your next breath in, reach the arms up towards the sky, high crescent lunge. Really feeling the length in the upper body here, along the sides, along the spine, feeling the crown of the head being pulled up towards the sky as your feet stay on the ground. As you exhale, start to straighten that front leg, bringing the back foot to the ground, forward fold into pyramid pose. Pressing down through the ball mount of that front foot. Bending the knee here if you need to. And continuing to use the breath to create space in these positions. On your next breath in, start to put all the weight into that front foot as you kick the back foot off the ground, coming up for standing splits. Knowing you always have the option to tap the toe or keep that back toe on the ground. Breathing here in this inversion, finding your dristi, that spot where you place your eyes to keep the balance. Keep that right arm on the ground. Begin to stack the hips on top of each other as you open up into half moon pose here. Maybe you begin to lift that left arm up towards the sky. Stacking the hips on top of each other, shooting energy out through that back foot. And remembering that falling is part of our practice. And seeing it as an opportunity to embrace. Begin to bend into that front knee. See if you can come up to a standing position, keeping the left foot off of the ground and bringing the left knee in towards the chest. Grab the outside of that left knee with the right hand and begin to twist towards the left side, moving the left arm to the back of your mat. If you want to play with your balance here, you have the option to look at that back hand. Maybe you start to grab the outside of that left foot, straightening the leg if that's in your practice. One more breath here. As you exhale, bring that arm back forward, hug the knee into the chest, and place that left foot down, giving the legs a little bit of a shake here. Finding your rootedness, finding your foundation, really gripping the toes into the earth, feeling each one of your 10 toes on your mat. Send your hips back, lift the arms up, chair pose. Putting that weight into the heels, bringing the hands down to heart center, and starting to twist to the left. So placing that right elbow on the outside of the left knee for chair twist. Even in this pose, continuing to lengthen through the spine and twisting from the core as you feel the quads and the glutes burning in this chair pose. Finding your inner strength to make it through this moment. Knowing our bodies are much stronger than we think they are. And our minds can go a lot further than we think. Inhale, start to lift that right leg up as you stay in this twisting pose and slowly start to shoot it back, coming into a high crescent lunge twist. So finding some extra stability in that back foot, taking one more breath here. And as you exhale, start to bring those arms up towards the sky, high crescent lunge. So coming back to your word of embodiment here in this high crescent lunge, what does that look like for you in this moment? How can you bring that practice of giving human form or shape to your word into this moment? As you inhale, start to straighten that front foot as you bring the back foot in, lengthening up through the spine and folding over that front leg for pyramid pose. Really turning the attention inward here on that breath. There's nothing else to do in this pose but to breathe. Maybe even closing the eyes can help keep you there. Opening your eyes on your next breath in, start to put all your weight into that front foot as the back foot lifts up off the ground for standing splits. Really letting the head and upper body go here, releasing any tension in the shoulders and the neck is not needed in this position. And on your next breath in, start to stack those hips on top of each other, opening up towards the right side of your mat, coming into half moon. Maybe you've noticed one leg is harder to balance on for you than the other, and that's okay. We take that as information, not as judgment. One more breath here. And as you exhale, see if you can start to come to a standing position, keeping that back leg off the ground. Facing the front of your mat, bringing that back leg in, knee into the chest. And exhale. Once you feel like you've reestablished your foundation, place that left hand on the outside of the right knee and start to open up towards the right, bringing that right arm towards the back of your mat. And playing with the shape here, playing with that gaze, or maybe grabbing the outside of the foot and straightening the leg. One more breath here. Start to hug that knee into the chest as you come back to face the front of your mat. Exhale, bringing that foot back down to the ground. Pausing for a moment. Pressing all four corners of the feet into the mat. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, folding forward over the legs. Inhaling up to a flat back. Exhale, hands back down, stepping down into plank. Pausing for a breath in plank. And exhale, send the hips back into downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, lift the right leg up towards the sky. And exhale, bring that knee up to the right tricep. We're setting up for pigeon pose here. So bring that knee to the right tricep, twisting the foot to face the left side of the mat, bringing that back knee down. So bringing this right leg into kind of a 45-degree angle, placing that back knee down, starting to lengthen out the spine here before releasing to the earth, surrendering into this pose, continuing to lead with the heart all the way down, going as far down feels comfortable for you today. And once you've hit that place of surrender, just really start to let everything go here. Anything physical, mental, emotional, anything that's holding you back, dragging you down. Anything you feel like you've been carrying, it's just not yours to carry. Leave it here. Release it here. Slowly start to walk the hands back towards the foot as you press up off your mat. Send that right leg back into downward facing dog. And taking this moment here just to stretch that right leg out. And when you're ready, inhale, lift the left leg up towards the sky. And swing it up, bringing that left knee to the left tricep to come into pigeon pose on the left side. So once again, finding that leg position here for you, about a 45-degree angle, maybe more, maybe less. Creating length in the spine and leading with the heart before surrendering in this pose, and maybe taking it through some phases of coming down a little bit, finding more length, and coming down a little bit more. Being gentle with this surrender. Being gentle as you let go of things, not just unconsciously dropping, throwing, surrendering to things. Being very conscious with our surrender, with our letting go. Being with that process so that we can then begin to fill ourselves up with things that serve us, things that feel good, things that are in alignment with our true self. And knowing that those things might have their time to be released as well. And knowing that that's okay. It's the end of a beautiful cycle of something serving us and having served its purpose is now ready to be surrendered. Start to walk the hands back, pushing the upper body up off the ground, sending that left leg back into downward facing dog, just to stretch it out. Bring the knees down to the mat, coming back onto your butt and bringing the legs out in front of you. Just coming up towards the top of your mat, keeping the feet on the ground, slowly start to lower your back onto your mat, keeping the feet on the ground, knees bent. Pulling the knees in to the chest. And keeping the left knee in as you straighten the right leg along the ground. Starting to bring that left knee over the right side body for a reclined spinal twist. Really bringing the breath down, bringing the body down. Our final moments before fully letting go. Inhale back onto your back. Bring both knees into the chest, giving a big squeeze. And straighten that left leg along the ground, pulling the right knee in. Inhaling here to create space, and as you exhale, start to roll that right knee over the left side body. Maybe finding some pops, some cracks. Allowing those to come. Rolling back onto your back, bringing both knees into your chest. Giving yourself the biggest hug, maybe bringing that chin up, forehead up to meet the knees. Taking a big breath here. And as you exhale, release the body, straightening the legs out in front of you. Letting the arms fall at your side, taking up space. Letting your body land in this pose of rest. Your beautiful Shavasana. Slowly start to arrive back into your body now. Back into this room. Creating some subtle movements in the body. Creating fists with the hands. Squeezing the toes in towards the feet. Slowly start to move the shoulders. And when you feel ready, start to roll onto your right side, coming into a fetal position, resting the head on that bottom arm. As gently as you can, press yourself up, keeping the eyes closed or at a soft gaze, and coming back into Sukhasana, easy seat. Placing the palms together at heart center in Anjali Mudra. Honoring the voice that lives here, your true self. Bringing the thumbs up to the third eye, palms together. Honoring this place of intuition that guides us in acting from our hearts. May we always recognize our true self lives here, and we always have access to this part of ourselves. And in return, we share this part of ourselves with the world around us, feeling connected, feeling the oneness. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today for day 2 of the Embodiment Series. So I want to challenge you today with this idea of embodiment, giving human form or shape to a quality or a word. Whatever word you have picked for these 5 days to focus on, to embody in your life, I want to challenge you today to reflect on how did you embody your word today? Maybe it was on the mat, maybe it was off your mat, but how did you embody, or didn't you find yourself embodying your word today? Get creative with this. Feel free to journal about it. Feel free to share with someone about it. Even if it's your dog, they're amazing listeners. Trust me. Feel free to explore this idea, this challenge, however you'd like today. And I'm excited to see you again for day 3. Thank you. I love you. Bye.